I'm curious, where did everybody grow up? I grew up in southeastern Alberta and then moved to central Alberta, so I've spent a lot of time living in Alberta.
I grew up in what is colloquially called northern British Columbia, but is in fact geographically the center of British Columbia, or near enough to it, in a city called Prince George, which is the big smoke north of Vancouver, right? It's like 800 kilometers, then Prince George. Then you can keep going for about 3 more days, and then you fall into the Arctic Ocean.
We almost did. Anyway, yeah, you guys? Who wants to go?
Well, guess we'll go down the line. I grew up in the southeast of the United States. Charlotte, North Carolina was where I was born. And I spent longer than I would have liked to in certain other areas of the southeast. But then I recently moved to the northwest, and I'm a happy boy.
Pacific Northwest is where I call home. So born and raised in Vancouver and in the suburbs around there throughout until a few years ago when I moved to Victoria.
I grew up in Pemberton, up past Whistler in BC.
Man, you must hate that festival.
Oh, it doesn't run anymore. Like the big pile of garbage festival. That's what we call it.
Engineering, I'm going to open this up to you as well because we have a challenge associated with this. Would any of you like to ring in? Because you're.
I grew up in southeastern Washington State, so everything that anyone knows about Washington State, like the pine trees and the rain and the mountains, we don't have any of that. I grew up in the desert corner, and I grew up in a town that's basically like a rejected Fallout mod. We're really proud of having enriched the nuclear material for one of the bombs in World War II.
All right.
My high school is the home of the bombers. Literally, that's our mascot.
Tasteful.
I think I know precisely where you're talking about. I think I lived there for a year myself.
You have my condolences.
Did they ever clean up that thing?
Depends on what you mean by clean up.
Okay.
The waste is all in tanks underground, like the original ones from World War II.
I thought that was the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are still working on it.
Okay, let's keep, I want to keep rolling through this thing. We can talk about that more in a minute. Anybody else want to ring in and talk?
I was an Air Force brat until I was 10, so I moved around a lot while my dad was in the military. And after that, I grew up in North Dakota until about 10 years ago when I moved out here to Washington.
I grew up on Vancouver Island here, so I've spent most of my life here. I did do a bit of school in England and in Calgary, but most of my life was spent here in just like an hour and a half north of here.
Cool. All right. Mike, you too?
Yeah, I grew up in Colorado.
Okay, we have a fairly, not a widely diverse amount of people, but there's been a bit of spread. So, the challenge is, we've all introduced where we're from, and we're just going to quickly do that again when we do this. There's a list of words they want us to read, each one of us.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So I'm going to do this again. I grew up in southeastern Alberta. Ant, roof, root or route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, bean, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, caught, and envelope. Cameron.
Aunt, roof, route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, bin, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, caught, and envelope.
The southeast of the U.S., aunt, roof, root, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, bin, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, caught, and envelope.
Vancouver suburbs. Ant, roof, route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, bean, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, cot, and envelope.
Rural BC, aunt, roof, root, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, bean, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, cot, and envelope.
Peach, did you want to do this?
Certainly.
Where are you from?
All over. I was an Army brat as well.
Okay.
I can talk about my birth city because that's goofy later. Let's go aunt, roof, route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, Ben, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, cot, envelope.
Matthew just came out. Did you want to?
Sure.
Where are you from?
North
Roughly.
Carolina.
You grew up in North Carolina?
Yep.
Okay.
Aunt, roof, root, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, Ben, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, cot, envelope.
Guess that takes us to engineering.
I grew up in Eastern Washington, and I would say this as aunt, roof, route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, bin, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, cot, and envelope.
This is really weird after hearing everyone else do it.
Yeah, it kind of throws you off.
Because I'm going to be second guessing myself, but I'll do my best. From North Dakota, aunt, roof, route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, sure, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, bin, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, cot, envelope.
Why not? So Colorado, sort of middle of the United States, ish. Aunt, wait, would you mind moving to the side just a little? Thank you. That one's really tiny. Aunt, roof, route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, bag, shore, data, ruin, crayon, pecan, both, again, bin, probably, measure, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, cot, envelope.
Is that everybody?
I think so.
Johnny?
That's fine.
Okay.
What sleeper agent did we just activate?
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, now they sampled all of our phonemes.
Yeah.
Now they can just imitate our voices from now
there we
on.
go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. Now you'll be getting robocalls from us.
The interesting thing to me is Matthews and I are actually born and raised in almost the same general area. I was born and raised in Charlotte. Matthews, you were
Durham.
North Carolina. But several of those words we pronounced very similarly and several very differently. It's interesting.
One thing I just want to add on there for me personally is I will use routes most of the time, unless I'm talking about something like Route 66, where it's famously pronounced that way.
Yeah, it almost depends on the situation you're in when you say it. Because I think I said caramel, but I've also used caramel.
Yeah. Well, like, I think I grew up saying root. And then the internet happened,
Yep.
and you have to have a router
Yes.
everywhere.
I think of it as a lot of times it's like I think I'm always figuring out route as being like a verb and route being as a noun, but it doesn't always work that way for me. Like if I'm like, what route do I take? You know, but a lot of times it'll be route me to this. But you know, what route do I take or what route do I take? Then but anyway. So